What if one simple action could stop disrespect in its tracks forever? Carl Jung, the genius who decoded the human psyche, knew that respect isn't demanded. It's commanded through yourself. Do this, and no one will ever disrespect you again. We unveil 5 Jungian steps to transform how others treat you, from unmasking your shadow's hidden fears to crafting a persona that radiates strength. These steps, paired with a powerful pause, will make disrespect a thing of the past. In the next 40 minutes, through real-life stories, you'll learn how to set boundaries, choose your circle, and show up with unshakable confidence. No shouting required. Ready to make your presence a privilege no one dares to overlook. Stick with Jung's Psyche Hub, and let's unlock Jung's secret to commanding respect. Starting now, what if the sting of disrespect isn't just about what others do, but about something deeper within you? Carl Jung, the visionary who mapped the depths of the human psyche, introduced the shadow, the hidden part of yourself, where unacknowledged fears, insecurities, and wounds reside. When someone disrespects you, cuts you off in a meeting, makes a snide remark, or dismisses your feelings, it feels personal, like an attack on your worth. But Carl Jung's wisdom reveals a powerful truth. Disrespect often triggers your shadow, amplifying old fears of being unseen, unworthy, or powerless. The first step to ensuring no one disrespects you again is to unmask these shadow triggers. By understanding why disrespect hurts and where that pain comes from, you can respond from strength, not reaction, and set the stage for a life where your presence commands respect. Let's set the scene. You're in a team meeting, pitching an idea you've worked hard on. Before you can finish, your colleague, Sarah, interrupts with a dismissive, "That's not practical. Let's move on." Your stomach drops, your face flushes, and you feel a surge of anger mixed with embarrassment. You want to snap back or shrink into silence, convinced you've been disrespected. But pause for a moment. Carl Jung's shadow suggests this isn't just about Sarah's words, it's about what they've stirred inside you. You take a breath and ask, why does this hurt so much? Digging deeper, you realize her interruption triggered a fear of being invisible. A wound from childhood, when your opinions were often ignored by a parent or teacher. That's your shadow speaking a buried belief that your voice doesn't matter. Instead of lashing out or retreating, you unmask the trigger. You calmly say, "Sarah, I'd like to finish my point before we discuss alternatives." Your steady tone shifts the room's energy, and Sarah nods, caught off guard by your composure. By naming the shadow fear of being unseen, you've turned a moment of disrespect into one of quiet power. Carl Jung's shadow is the unseen force behind why disrespect cuts so deep. It's not just the external slight, it's the internal echo of past moments when you felt diminished or overlooked. Maybe it's a memory of being dismissed by a friend, undervalued at a past job, or criticized in a relationship. These experiences form patterns in your shadow, making you hypersensitive to anything that feels like a repeat. When someone disrespects you, your shadow whispers, "This is familiar. You're not enough." But Carl Jung taught that by bringing these hidden fears into the light, you strip them of their power. Unmasking your shadow doesn't mean ignoring the disrespect. It means understanding why it triggers you, so you can choose a response that aligns with your strength, not your wounds. Here's another example. You're at a social gathering, and a friend, Jake, makes a sarcastic comment about your new hobby. "Oh, you're into painting now. Good luck with that." The room laughs, but you feel belittled, tempted to fire back or brush it off with a fake smile. Instead, You lean into Carl Jung's wisdom. You pause and reflect. What's this triggering in me? You realize Jake's comment hits a shadow wound of fear of being judged, rooted in a time when a teacher mocked your creative efforts. By naming it, I feel judged, you take control. You respond with calm confidence. Actually, I'm enjoying painting. It's been really fulfilling. Your words shift the vibe, and the laughter fades as others admire your poise. Jake might not even realize his impact, but your response teaches him, and everyone else, that you're not here for mockery. You've unmasked your shadow and protected your worth. Why does unmasking your shadow work so powerfully? Carl Jung believed the shadow thrives in darkness when you ignore or suppress it. It controls your reactions, making you lash out or withdraw when disrespected. But when you shine a light on it, naming the fear or insecurity it holds, you reclaim your power. Disrespect stops being a personal attack and becomes a signal to explore your inner world. This shift changes how you show up. The person who disrespects you expects a predictable reaction: anger, silence, or defensiveness. But when you respond from clarity, grounded in yourself rather than your shadow, you disrupt their pattern. They sense your strength. And suddenly, disrespect doesn't land the same way. It either bounces off or forces them to rethink their behavior. So, how do you unmask your shadow's role in disrespect? The next time you feel that sting, racing heart, tight chest, or flushed face, pause. Take a deep breath and ask, what's this really about? Is it a fear of being unworthy? A memory of being dismissed? Write it down. Talk it out with a trusted friend. Or reflect quietly. For example, if your boss overlooks your contribution in a meeting, don't stew in anger. Ask, what's this triggering? Maybe it's a shadow belief that your work isn't valued, tied to a past experience of being underappreciated. Name it, I feel unseen. Then choose your response. Perhaps you calmly say, I'd like to highlight my role in this project. This isn't about confrontation. It's about asserting your worth from a place of clarity. Each time you unmask your shadow, you weaken its grip, building a foundation for responses that command respect. Let's try one more scenario. You're in a relationship, and your partner, Emma, snaps at you for forgetting a small errand. You never follow through, the criticism stings, and you're tempted to argue or shut down. But you tap into your shadow. You pause and ask, why does this hurt? You realize her words trigger a fear of being inadequate, rooted in a childhood where you felt you could never please a parent. By naming it, I feel inadequate, you diffuse the emotional charge. Instead of escalating, you say, I hear you're upset. Let's talk about what happened. Your calm approach opens a dialogue, and Emma softens, explaining her stress. By unmasking your shadow, you've turned a moment of disrespect into one of connection, grounded in your own strength. The lesson here is transformative. Unmasking your shadow's role in disrespect, guided by Carl Jung's wisdom, lets you respond from power, not pain. You stop letting others' actions define your worth and start teaching them how to treat you. Disrespect doesn't disappear because people change. It fades because you've changed how you show up. Ready to take this further? Let's move to the next step and discover the power of a simple pause. What if 5 seconds could transform a moment of disrespect into a display of your strength? Carl Jung, the pioneer who unraveled the mysteries of the human psyche, described the self as the core of your being, the integrated, authentic center where your wisdom, values, and power align. When someone disrespects you, a cutting remark, an interruption, or a dismissive gesture, your instinct is to react instantly, with anger, defense, or silence. But Carl Jung's wisdom paired with a simple tool called the 5-second pause, gives you the power to respond differently. The second step to ensuring no one disrespects you again is mastering this pause, a brief moment that lets yourself take charge, turning a trigger into an opportunity to command respect with calm, unshockable confidence. Let's paint a picture. You're at a coffee shop, catching up with a friend, Lisa, who casually belittles your recent career move. You left a stable job for that bold but risky. Your heart races, and you're tempted to snap back or laugh it off to avoid tension. That's your body's fight or flight response, urging you to react. But instead, you tap into Carl Jung's Self and the 5-second pause, and you count backward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You take a deep breath and ask, how do I want to show up here? In those 5 seconds, you realize Lisa's comment isn't worth your peace. Instead of defending yourself, you respond calmly. I'm excited about my new path. It's a great fit for me. Your steady tone shifts the conversation. And Lisa, caught off guard, moves on. By pausing, you've connected with yourself, choosing confidence over conflict. You've taught Lisa, without a fight, that your worth isn't up for debate. Carl Jung's Self is the foundation of your inner strength, the part of you that remains steady, no matter the chaos around you. When disrespect hits, your immediate impulse often comes from your shadow or ego parts tied to fear, insecurity, or the need to prove yourself. That urge to snap back or shrink away can lead to regret, reinforcing the cycle of disrespect. The 5-second pause interrupts this automatic reaction, giving yourself a chance to step in. It's like hitting a reset button on your emotions, allowing you to respond with intention rather than instinct. This brief moment of stillness isn't weakness, it's a power move, rooted in Carl Jung's belief that true strength comes from aligning with your deepest, most authentic core. By pausing, you create space to choose a response that reflects your worth, not your wounds. Here's another scenario. You're in a work meeting, presenting a project update, when your colleague, Tom, interrupts with a condescending tone. That's not going to work. Let's try something realistic. The room goes quiet, and you feel a surge of frustration, ready to argue or retreat. But you use the 5-second pause. You count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a breath and ask, what does myself want here? You realize Tom's dismissal doesn't define you. It's his projection, not your reality. Instead of snapping, you say, I appreciate the feedback, Tom, but let me finish outlining my approach. Your calm, assertive response commands attention, and the team listens. Tom backs off, and you've just shown everyone your strength without raising your voice. The pause, let yourself lead, turning a moment of disrespect into one of authority. Why does the 5-second pause work so powerfully? Carl Jung taught that the self is the center of your psyche, where clarity and wisdom reside. When you react instantly to disrespect, you're letting your shadow or ego drive parts tied to old fears or defenses. But pausing for 5 seconds creates space for yourself to take over. Neuroscience supports this. A brief pause disrupts the brain's amygdala-driven fight or flight response, engaging the prefrontal cortex for rational thinking. In those 5 seconds, you're not suppressing your feelings. You're choosing whether they deserve your energy. This shift makes you unpredictable to those who expect a reaction, forcing them to rethink their approach. They sense your control, and disrespect loses its grip, not because you demanded respect, but because you embodied it. So, How do you master the 5-second pause when disrespect strikes? Notice the physical signs: racing heart, clenched jaw, shallow breath. Start counting backward. 5, 4, 3, 2. Use those seconds to breathe deeply and ask, what does myself want in this moment? It could be asserting your point, redirecting the conversation, or walking away. For example, if a family member makes a passive-aggressive comment at dinner, like, still no promotion. Huh? Don't bite the bait. Count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then say, I'm happy with my progress. Let's talk about something else. You've protected your peace and set a tone that discourages further jabs. Each pause strengthens your connection to yourself, building a habit of intentional responses over impulsive reactions. Let's try one more example. You're in a relationship, and your partner, Alex, dismisses your request to discuss a sensitive issue. You're making a big deal out of nothing. The sting of dismissal makes you want to argue or shut down. But you count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You breathe and ask, how can I honor myself here? Instead of escalating, you say, this matters to me, and I'd like us to talk about it calmly. Your composed response invites dialogue, and Alex softens, realizing you're serious. The pause turned a potential conflict into a moment of connection, showing that your voice matters. By choosing yourself over your ego, you've taught Alex to respect your needs without a fight. The lesson here is transformative. The 5-second pause is your bridge to the self, giving you the power to respond with clarity and strength. It's not about avoiding disrespect, it's about rising above it. By embracing Carl Jung's wisdom, you learn that disrespect only holds power if you react to it. Those 5 seconds let you choose who you want to be, someone whose presence commands respect. Ready to take this further? Let's move to the next step and discover how to craft a persona that demands respect without a word. What if the way you present yourself could stop disrespect before it even starts? Carl Jung, the visionary who explored the depths of the human psyche, introduced the persona, the social mask you wear to navigate the world. Reflecting how you choose to be seen, when someone disrespects you, a snarky comment, a dismissive tone, or an interruption, it often signals that your persona hasn't yet communicated your true worth. The third step to ensuring no one disrespects you again is crafting a persona that radiates confidence, clarity, and strength. By intentionally shaping how you speak, act, and carry yourself, rooted in Carl Jung's wisdom, you send a powerful message. Your presence demands respect. No words needed. Let's set the scene. You're at a networking event, sharing your ideas with a group of colleagues. As you speak, one person, David, rolls his eyes and cuts in with, that's a bit unrealistic. Don't you think your instinct is to shrink, mumble an apology, or over-explain to win his approval? But instead, you tap into Carl Jung's persona. You pose, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and adjust your posture, shoulders back, voice steady. You respond, I see your point, David, but here's why I think this approach works. Your calm, confident delivery shifts the room's energy. David hesitates, and others lean in, intrigued by your poise. By crafting a persona that projects strength through your tone, body language, and choice of words, you've made it clear. You're not here to be dismissed. Disrespect doesn't land because your persona says it's not welcome. Carl Jung's persona is the face you show the world. a bridge between your inner self and external reality. It's not about being fake. It's about choosing how you present your authentic strength. When your persona is weak or uncertain, marked by hesitant speech, self-deprecating comments, or people-pleasing behavior, you unintentionally signal that disrespect is tolerable. Carl Jung taught that a well-crafted persona, aligned with yourself, reflects your values and boundaries, making it harder for others to cross you. It's like wearing armor that doesn't hide who you are but amplifies your presence. By refining your language, posture, and energy, you create a persona that commands respect before anyone even thinks to challenge it. Here's another example. You're in a family dinner, and your uncle, Mike, makes a passive-aggressive jab about your lifestyle, still living that carefree single life. When are you settling down? The comment stings, and you're tempted to brush it off with a nervous laugh or snap back defensively. But you lean into your persona. You pose. Count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and choose your words carefully. With a calm smile, you say, "I'm happy with my life right now. It's exactly where I want to be." Your confident tone and relaxed posture shut down further probing. Mike changes the subject, and others at the table nod in respect. By presenting a persona rooted in self-assurance, you've deflected disrespect without confrontation, teaching everyone that your choices are not up for debate. Why does crafting your persona work so powerfully? Carl Jung believed the persona is your interface with the world, shaping how others perceive and interact with you. A weak persona, marked by phrases like, "I'm just," or "sorry," but invites others to overlook you. But a strong persona, built on clear language, confident body language, and intentional energy, sends a signal: you value yourself. And others should too. Neuroscience backs this up. Confident, non-verbal cues, like steady eye contact and upright posture, activate mirror neurons in others, prompting them to mirror your energy and respect your presence. When you show up as someone who knows their worth, disrespect becomes less likely, not because you control others, but because your persona sets the standard. So, how do you craft a persona that commands respect? Start by auditing your language. Notice if you use diminishing phrases like, "This might be dumb," but, or "I'm not sure if." Replace them with direct, confident statements. "Here's my perspective," or "I've noticed this." Practice in low-stakes settings, like ordering coffee with a clear, friendly tone. Next, focus on body language. Stand tall, maintain eye contact, and avoid fidgeting. For example, if a coworker, Jane, interrupts you during a presentation, don't shrink. Count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand straighter and say, "I'd like to finish my point." Jane, your persona confident, not aggressive, makes her pause. Finally, align your energy with your values. If you value respect, don't tolerate gossip or negativity. Redirect conversations to topics that uplift you. Each small adjustment strengthens your persona, making disrespect less likely. Let's try one more scenario. You're on a date, and your partner, Sam, makes a condescending remark about your job. That's cute, but it's not exactly high-powered, is it? You feel belittled, tempted to justify your career or stay quiet to keep the peace. But you channel your persona. You count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sit up confidently and say, "I love what I do. It's meaningful to me." Your steady voice and relaxed posture shift the dynamic. Sam backtracks. Impressed by your self-assurance, by presenting a persona that radiates strength, you've set a boundary without arguing, showing that disrespect won't shake you. The lesson here is transformative. Crafting a persona rooted in Carl Jung's wisdom lets you command respect before disrespect even has a chance. It's not about changing who you are. It's about showing the world your strength. Your persona is your signal to others. Your presence is a privilege, not a given. Ready to take this further? Let's move to the next step and discover how choosing your circle shapes your respect. What if the people around you could either amplify your strength or invite disrespect? Carl Jung, the genius who explored the depths of the human psyche, introduced the collective unconscious, a shared reservoir of human experiences and archetypes that shape how we connect and interact. The people you surround yourself with either reflect the respect you deserve or reinforce patterns of disrespect, often rooted in these universal archetypes. When someone disrespects you, a friend's snide remark, a colleague's dismissal, or a family member's judgment, it's often a sign that your circle doesn't align with your worth. The fourth step to ensuring no one disrespects you again is choosing your circle with intention. Guided by Carl Jung's collective unconscious, by curating relationships that honor yourself, you create an environment where disrespect can't take root, and your presence naturally commands respect. Let's set the scene. You've been friends with Emma for years, but lately, her negativity drains you. At a group hangout, she makes a backhanded comment about your new project. That's ambitious. But don't get your hopes up. The jab stings, and you're tempted to brush it off to keep the peace. But you tap into Carl Jung's collective unconscious, recognizing that Emma's comment reflects a shared human archetype, the critic who projects doubt to feel secure. You pause, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and reflect, does Emma's energy align with myself? Instead of engaging, you choose intention. You politely distance yourself, saying, I'm excited about my project. Let's catch up another time. You spend more time with friends who uplift you, like Mia, who celebrates your ambition. Over weeks, Emma's negativity fades from your life, and your confidence grows. By choosing your circle intentionally, you've created a space where disrespect struggles to survive. Carl Jung's collective unconscious reveals why your circle matters so much. It's filled with archetypes like the supporter, the critic, or the hero that shape how people treat you and how you see yourself. When you surround yourself with people who embody negative archetypes, like those who belittle or dismiss, you're pulled into patterns of disrespect, rooted in shared human tendencies. These relationships reinforce shadow beliefs, like I'm not enough, making it easier for disrespect to creep in. But when you intentionally choose people who reflect positive archetypes, those who inspire, challenge, and respect you, you align with yourself, the core of your strength. Carl Jung believed this alignment is key to individuation, the process of becoming your truest self. By curating your circle, you create a mirror that reflects your worth, making disrespect feel out of place. Here's another example. At work, you're part of a team with a colleague, Jake, who constantly undermines you. During a brainstorming session, he dismisses your idea with, "That's been done before. Let's move on." You feel deflated, tempted to stay quiet, to avoid conflict, but you lean into the collective unconscious. You recognize Jake's behavior as the archetype of the competitor, driven by a need to dominate. You pose, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ask, is Jake's energy supporting my growth? Instead of shrinking, You choose intention. After the meeting, you connect with a supportive colleague, Sarah, who values your ideas. You focus your energy on collaborating with her. And over time, Jake's influence diminishs by intentionally choosing who gets your time. You've built a professional circle that respects your contributions, reducing opportunities for disrespect. Why does choosing your circle with intention work so powerfully? Carl Jung's collective unconscious shows that relationships are more than personal. They tap into universal patterns of human behavior. People who disrespect you often act from their own shadow or archetypes, like insecurity or control. But you don't have to absorb their energy by surrounding yourself with those who reflect your values, kindness, respect, growth. You reinforce yourself and make disrespect feel foreign. This shift changes how others interact with you. Those who don't respect you either adapt to your new standards or naturally fade away, because your circle no longer tolerates their behavior. Social psychology supports this. We adopt the norms of our closest relationships. So a circle that values respect shapes you into someone who commands it effortlessly. So, how do you choose your circle with intention? Start by auditing your relationships. Ask, does this person's energy lift me up or pull me down? Notice how you feel after interactions energized or drained. For example, if a friend, Tom, constantly complains or belittles your goals, recognize that his archetype, the complainer, doesn't serve yourself. Pause. Count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and set a boundary. I'd love to talk about something positive today. Spend more time with people like Anna, who inspires you with her optimism. Next, seek out those who embody archetypes that align with your growth mentors, encouragers, or peers who challenge you respectfully. Join groups or communities, like a book club or professional network, where respect is the norm. Each choice strengthens your circle, creating a space where your self thrives and disrespect can't take hold. Let's try one more scenario. You're in a family dynamic where your sibling, Laura, often criticizes your choices. You're still chasing that dream. Get a real job. Her words sting, and you're tempted to argue or avoid her. But you apply the collective unconscious. You see Laura's criticism as the archetype of the skeptic, rooted in her own fears. You pause. Count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and decide to choose intention. You say, I appreciate your concern, but I'm committed to my path. Then, you focus on connecting with family members who support you, like your cousin, Mark, who cheers your ambition. Over time, Laura's criticism loses its power, and your confidence grows. By curating your circle, you've created an environment where respect is the default. The lesson here is transformative: choosing your circle with intention, guided by Carl Jung's collective unconscious, builds a life where disrespect has no place. Your relationships become a mirror of yourself, reflecting your worth and making it clear that only those who respect you belong. This isn't about cutting everyone off. It's about choosing who gets to share your light. Ready to take this further? Let's move to the next step and discover how boundaries seal your respect. What if you could make disrespect impossible by drawing a line no one dares to cross? Carl Jung, the master of depth psychology, described individuation as the journey to becoming your truest self, centered in the self, the core of your being, where authenticity, strength, and wisdom align. When someone disrespects you, a colleague's snub, a friend's jab, or a partner's dismissal, it's tempting to react with anger or shrink to avoid conflict. But Carl Jung's wisdom teaches that boundaries rooted in yourself, are the ultimate shield against disrespect. The fifth step, to ensuring no one disrespects you again, is setting boundaries from yourself.com. By clearly defining what you tolerate and acting with unwavering consistency, you create a presence so powerful that disrespect simply can't take hold. Let's paint a picture. You're working on a tight deadline when your co-worker, Rachel, drops an extra task on you without asking, "Can you handle this by tomorrow? I'm swamped." Your instinct is to say yes to keep the peace, even though you're overwhelmed. But you connect with yourself through Carl Jung's lens of individuation. You pause, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ask, "Does this align with my values?" You realize agreeing would betray your own needs. So, you set a boundary, Rachel. "I can't take this on right now. Let's find another solution." Your tone is calm but firm, and Rachel nods, respecting your limit. By acting from yourself, you've protected your energy and signaled that your time is valuable. Disrespect doesn't land because your boundary, rooted in authenticity, stands unshakable. Carl Jung's concept of individuation is about integrating all parts of yourself, shadow, persona, and self, to live authentically. When you fail to set boundaries, you're betraying yourself, signaling to others that your worth is negotiable. Disrespect creeps in because you've left the door open. But boundaries, grounded in the self, are your way of saying, "This is who I am, and this is how I expect to be treated." They're not about shutting people out. They're about defining who gets access to your energy. By consistently enforcing boundaries, you teach others that disrespect comes with consequences, not through conflict, but through your refusal to engage with behavior that diminishes you. This alignment with yourself is the culmination of individuation, making your presence a privilege that commands respect. Here's another scenario. You're at a family gathering, and your aunt, Linda, criticizes your parenting style in front of everyone. "You're too soft on your kids, they need discipline." The comment stings, and you're tempted to argue or stay silent to avoid drama. But you lean into yourself. You pose, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and reflect, "What does myself need here?" You choose a boundary, Linda. "I appreciate your perspective, but I'm confident in my parenting choices." You say it with calm authority. Then shift to a positive conversation with others. Linda doesn't push further, and the table respects your poise. By setting a boundary from yourself, you've protected your peace and shown that your values aren't up for debate. Disrespect fades because yourself sets the standard. Why does setting boundaries from yourself work so powerfully? Carl Jung believed that individuation creates a unified self that radiates authenticity and strength. Without boundaries, you're vulnerable to others' actions, letting disrespect erode yourself. But boundaries act like a fortress, protecting your energy and signaling your worth. Social psychology supports this. Clear boundaries trigger a shift in group dynamics. As people adjust to respect your limits or risk losing access to you, when you consistently enforce boundaries, those who disrespect you either adapt or fade away, because yourself no longer tolerates their behavior. This isn't about control. It's about embodying a presence so grounded that disrespect feels out of place. So, how do you set boundaries from yourself when disrespect arises? Notice the physical signs: tight chest, racing heart, and pause. Counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ask, "What does myself need to stay true to my values?" Then set a clear, respectful boundary, either verbal or behavioral. For example, if a friend, Tom, constantly texts you late at night with drama, don't engage. Count 5, 4, 3, 2, and respond. I'm not available for these conversations after 9 p.m. Let's talk tomorrow. Then stick to it. Consistency is key. Each boundary reinforces yourself. If someone pushes back, stay calm but firm. Like, I hear you, but this is what I need. Over time, this practice becomes a habit, making yourself the foundation of every interaction. Let's try one more scenario. You're in a relationship, and your partner, Alex, dismisses your feelings about a disagreement. You're overreacting. It's not a big deal. The dismissal hurts, and you're tempted to argue or withdraw. But you anchor in yourself. You count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and say, Alex, my feelings matter, and I need us to discuss this respectfully. Your calm, firm boundary opens a dialogue, and Alex listens, realizing your seriousness. If they don't, you reassess the relationship's alignment with yourself. By setting boundaries, you've ensured disrespect can't take root, because yourself is non-negotiable. The lesson here is transformative setting boundaries from yourself, guided by Carl Jung's Individuation, creates a life where disrespect has no place. You don't just stop disrespect, you make it irrelevant by embodying your authentic strength. Yourself becomes a beacon, drawing only those who respect your worth, ready to bring it all together. Let's head to the outro and unlock the secret to a life where respect is your reality. Imagine walking into any room, knowing no one can shake your confidence or disrespect your worth. That's the power of Carl Jung's psychology. In this video, we've unveiled 5 transformative Jungian steps to make disrespect a thing of the past. Unmasking your shadow's triggers, mastering the 5-second pause, crafting a persona that radiates strength, choosing a circle that uplifts you, and setting boundaries from yourself. These steps aren't just tools, they're a roadmap to a life where your presence commands respect. Rooted in Carl Jung's timeless wisdom of individuation. Start today, pause for 5 seconds. Set one boundary, and watch how the world shifts. If this inspired you, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe to Jung Psyche Hub and hit the bell for more life-changing insights from Carl Jung. Share this video with someone who needs to reclaim their respect, a friend, a co-worker, anyone ready to rise. Drop a comment below. Which step will you try first? We read every comment and can't wait to hear your story. Like this video, ring the bell, and let's build a life where your worth is undeniable. Together,